welcome to Colin's Creatures. A while back, I made this live planted bioactive enclosure for my Crested Gecko, Mushu. And I made the mistake of putting a pothos into this enclosure. And this right here is a pothos. And the problem with pothos is it likes to outcompete every other plant it shares space with. And so it killed every plant in this enclosure except for this one. And pothos also likes to put rootlets everywhere. It put rootlets into the styrofoam backing. It puts its rootlets all the way down in the hydroball layer. So I had enough of this. And because this plant is actually from New Caledonia, which is the island where Crested Geckos are from, I thought it would be cool to completely remove the pothos and replant the enclosure with only New Caledonian plants. So let's get to tearing this place up. So as you can see, I got everything out, and you can also see that the pothos is a pain to remove. So I will salvage the one plant that was from New Caledonia, and you can also probably see that there is still some isopods and springtails in here, which means the soil is still bioactive. So I'm going to talk about the plants before I put them in. So the original plant is what is known as a shield Aurelia. And what I really like about it is that it's broad-leaved and it has the white on the outside of its leaf. This right here is a Olympia false Aurelia, and what I like about it is the serration of the leaves. And then this is a Croton, more specifically a gold dust variety because of the yellow splashes on the leaves, which is also why I like it. And then there is one more plant that I am going to put in. Before that, I like to say that I hope that some of these plants do get some height, and this one will cover the bottom more. And the final plant is a Norfolk Island pine. And as the name suggests, it's from the Norfolk Island, but it can also be found on New Caledonia. And this plant is readily available as a Christmas indoor plant, especially for those who have small apartments. Mine actually came with some small ornaments. Now, being a tree, it will get very large, but it's also a good tree for bonsai, which is what we're going to try and do to keep it small so it doesn't outgrow this relatively small enclosure. So it's always a good idea to place things into the enclosure before you actually start building it to make sure everything fits. In here we got all of the new plants and the old New Caledonian plant, Mushu in his cork hide that is supported by a piece of mangrove and grapevine, and this resin aquarium log decoration, and of course Mushu's feeding ledge. And also keep in mind that the plants are still in their planters and they're raised up higher than they will be in the final enclosure, but hopefully they should grow up. So we removed most of the soil and loosened the root ball, and we also cut off the tops as is part of the bonsai practice to prevent from going too tall. And now I'm going to cut off some of the new growth, not all of it, from the branches, and also trim back some of the root ball. Obviously, the next step is to plant all of the plants. I am currently planting Norfolk Island pine, and I'm not going to bore you with planting the rest of the plants. But here is the final product, complete with Mushu. So that is my new bioactive live planter with new Caledonian plants for my new Caledonian Crested Gecko. I hope Mushu enjoys his enclosure, and I hope the plants cooperate and we can keep the Norfolk Island pine in a smaller state using bonsai techniques. So I hope you learned something and enjoyed the build. So thanks for watching, subscribe to my channel, like my videos, and I'll see you next time on Colin's Creatures.